burst the bubble out of people who are wanting Bernie to win and who are going to get out the vote and vote for Bernie today. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what happens if Bernie is able to rally the support of all of these young people here in California and get the vote out. And then will the people's voice speak, yet Hillary still steals it anyway with her superdelegates? Totally undemocratic process.
That's right. And 6 states are going to the polls on the Democratic side with a total of 694 delegates at stake. The most important of them, obviously, is California, which has 475 of those delegates. That's the biggest state, biggest population. And where polls close at 11 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific, we're going to have extended coverage on InfoWars Nightly News tonight. After the news, we're going to have some live coverage of this final and, quite frankly, most important primary. When I say final, it'll be a shoe-in now after this. The second biggest prize is in New Jersey with 126 delegates. Are at stake. Polls close at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have New Mexico, Montana, South Dakota, and North Dakota as well. And we're going to have Leanne McAdoo, Joe Biggs, and others out there reporting on what's happening on the West Coast. Leanne, looking at this, I have a friend from many years ago who's a prominent Democrat here in Austin, Texas, and he gave me a call this morning to just snicker and laugh at me and say the word is, Donald Trump's going to lose. Hillary's ahead. Polls show 10 points. Well, most people are intimidated to say they're not going to vote for Trump because of the racism charge. Plus, a lot of other scientific polls show him 3-4 points ahead. So they're trying to sell this idea, just like with Sanders, that she's undefeatable, even though he'd have 50,000 in a rally, 10,000 in a rally. She'd have 500, 1,000 max. There's no one that I find supporting Hillary, even here in Austin, Texas. 90% of the liberals I know hate her, but not the guy that called me laughing at me this morning. They're already getting the big fix in. They're already getting ready to just steal it and hand it to her, Leanne.
Absolutely. And that's what people are finally able to see this election cycle. We've talked about it for many, many years, but now the mass of people can see that this is a totally undemocratic process. These superdelegates are set up to make sure that the American people are never able to elect someone that will actually represent them. The party will not allow that to happen. And there's actually a really interesting story coming out of the LA Times, kind of tying in what you were talking about earlier about the globalization, how they're flooding the West with people who aren't loyal and don't have any national instincts there with their countries. That's what's happening here in California. Now, we've been talking about how the left has been flooding America with all types of illegal immigrants that don't have any loyalty to this country, and they think they're going to be loyal to the Democratic Party because they want all that free stuff. Well, it turns out that they're actually seeing a surge in Latino voters who are registering themselves as nonpartisan. So they're not loyal to the Democratic Party, nor are they loyal to the Republican Party. So basically what the left has done has flooded our country with a bunch of people who aren't loyal to anyone, and they're not even loyal to this country. And they're really upset with the fact that the Democrats have made all of these promises to them and haven't followed through.
Well, that's the issue. Really, I mean, on average, black Americans have been screwed over by the Democrats worse than anybody. But there's all these platitudes and words, but doubling the unemployment under Obama. But historically, Hispanic voters are not going to go that way. I don't know why culturally that's different. But when the, quote, Democrats don't deliver or deliver some scam, it's not going to go well. And that's really more than Democrats wanting voters. The big multinational corporations want to drive down wages. I mean, that's really what this is about. It's what Perot warned about, the giant sucking sound, where things are so bad in areas of Mexico, they got to come up here for jobs. I mean, NAFTA and GATT has been a disaster for everybody but the elites.
Right. And I think a lot of people are starting to see that with the trade agreements. And the big thing here in California, the big thing that's pushing the voting here is immigration. And so that's been the main kicker for a lot of the Latino voters is getting this immigration passed. But what is going to happen if they do open the borders, if it is good? It's the economy, stupid. Then once you all get here, what are we going to do for jobs?
Sure.
This is going to affect everyone.
It's not like we border Switzerland, okay? We border a failed state that's collapsing. And I like Mexico, a lot of cool stuff. But, I mean, we're going to be a failed state, too. So, you know, don't feel too arrogant, folks. Looking at Mexico or Venezuela, look at what's happening in Spain and Greece, and Ireland's in trouble. I mean, the whole world is teetering because less and less people are working. The governments are raising taxes by design to implode the carrying capacity of the planet. They are collapsing it by design. Mayday, Mayday. This is a planned program. And Bernie Sanders will only make it worse. But regardless, it shows people are going for who they see as the outside candidate. They are going for a Trump. They're going for a Sanders, even if there's problems with both of them. And so Trump and Sanders, for me, Leanne, are only a manifestation of the anger and the upsetness of people. And it's not going to go away if they put Hillary Clinton in.
Absolutely not. She's just symbolic. It's just like with Obama. He was the first African-American president. It's all symbolic. She's going to be the first female president. And it's symbolism. She's not actually going to change the country. It's just going to be more of the same and even worse with Hillary Clinton because she's a total warmonger, total corporate elitist. She's a huge sellout. So we're going to get more of the same.
It's crazy. I mean, the U.S. is collapsing in many areas. Our protectorates are collapsing. More than half the counties and cities in California are already been bankrupt for years. They're getting propped up with more fiat garbage. We just saw Puerto Rico go completely belly up and default. I mean, this is a time bomb on a time bomb. And people just laugh and joke and go, oh, we're going to beat up Hispanics trying to go to a Trump rally because we're Hispanic, we're waving Bernie signs and want free stuff, with him going, it's all going to be free, like Venezuela. I mean, he's in speeches saying Venezuela should be our model. The place is on fire, Leanne.
Yeah, you don't see, basically what they're saying is all the people lining up for Bernie Sanders are just practicing for the bread line that they're going to be lining up for here soon. So,
wow, Leanne, I want to come back and briefly talk to you in this short segment and ask you on the Trump side what your view is on those developments, being out in the middle of this. Are you expecting any civil unrest, as I was asking earlier, if Bernie loses California? Because here's the deal, folks. As dumb as some of these voters are, they know Bernie's the real leader of the race, okay? Nobody likes Hillary. By the way, coming up at the start of the next segment, before we go to our reporters in Germany at the site of Bilderberg 2016, I'm going to air a 60-second promo for the launch of what we're going to be doing with Tim Kennedy, who in the near future will be going for the title for the middle heavyweight for UFC, and narrowly lost that, as you know, a few years ago to a fellow it turned out was on a bunch of steroids. But what's interesting about working with Tim Kennedy is that most of what he's done is secret, and he won't be getting into any of that with us, obviously, here on air. He's just been bringing all his expertise when he's been in the most elite Army units there are, and joint units. There's only really one joint unit. Everybody knows what that is, Delta Force. And beyond Chris Kyle, and I'm not taking anything away from Chris Kyle, but this is the super soldier. And they've been trying to train him to take the guns and stuff, and he and the U.S. Army are awake. Just like they said no to Al-Qaeda and said no to funding ISIS 4 years ago, and now that's all been declassified in the news. And Tim Kennedy goes around with the Pentagon doing pro-military, pro-veteran promotions. And, at the level of the U.S. Army, they're even pretty much done with the globalists. So Tim Kennedy's going to be joining the info war. I'm just telling you that right now, and other people as well. Because there's a real fight for this republic, and people are going to start seeing the real response in the defense of this country. This is only the beginning. All right. We built it and they came. Leanne McAdoo. Wow, so much going on. You saw the Joe Biggs footage. You've seen people being attacked. Just yesterday, Hispanics getting attacked because they're out on the street trying to vote for Trump. We're hearing there's going to be attacks at some of the polling places. They attack women, too. So you wanted to go out there, but please be safe.
Yeah, I thank you, Alex. I'm definitely going to be watching my back. I've got Zimmerman out here. Unfortunately, Biggs is going to be in a different location, but I think we're going to be all right. But yeah, I am expecting some excitement, I think, on either end. If Bernie wins California, but it still goes to Hillary, I think all of the people that we've been seeing getting rowdy at these rallies are going to be out in full effect tonight. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know I would be pretty
I said go out there, but I wanted Biggs to be with you. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but I mean, I'd be concerned out there. I want a few guys with me. So you're going to be with Biggs, right? Because you guys are split up right now.
Well, we're split up right now. Biggs is going to be at the Bernie Sanders event, and we are going to go try to get to where the Hillary Clinton supporters are at. But we might end up being where Biggs is at if that seems to be where...
Well, Zimmerman's a big guy, so hopefully you guys can protect each other.
Yeah, he doesn't have his he's not carrying right now, so that's kind of a letdown for me. But we are here in this liberal utopia, California, which is like a totally rundown state. I can't even describe. It looks like a third world country here in a lot of the parts of California.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I was there a few years ago, and I said, I'm not coming back unless I have to. I was sitting there out by a pool with a butler. I was at a Hollywood Stars house. It wasn't Charlie Sheen's, it was another one, bringing me, like, fragua, and there was ashes raining down on me and like, you know, 3 women in bikinis out by the pool with ashes, with fires a mile away. And I said, this is like hell. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking around and just unbelievable. I mean, California is one of the youngest states in the nation, and it looks so run down. What happened? How could this have happened in this liberal mecca?
Well, it's because they have some of the highest taxes in the country, and they're only getting higher, Leanne. But whenever Trump comes out and says they're shutting off the water, that's causing a lot of the farmers to go out of business, they write articles saying he's a liar. But they shut off 3 major lakes in Northern California that destroyed over 100,000 farmers. That's admitted.
Right.
By the way, some of those farmers are Tim Kennedy's family. Original Californians are like as Texas or more. Like I run into all these Californians that are 4th, 5th generation, and they're as cool as anybody I know that's like 7th generation Texan. And they'll tell you, they go, stop saying California is a bunch of evil people. We're not. Folks from all over the country came there in the world to get a free deal. The communists destroyed California.
Exactly. Well, and that's what we're starting to see trickling out in Austin, because as we know, Texas is great, but then you've got Austin starting to get full on Democratic representation there. So it's kind of, don't bring the locusts here.
All right, Leanne, great job. By the way, I love that green jacket. You know, that's my favorite.
Thank you. Mine too.
I tell you, well, that's the Irish in you. But seriously,
Yes.
what else are you going to be covering?
Well, we are also going to be out here. We wanted to talk a little bit about how what a Clinton presidency would look like. We're outside of the Laugh Factory, and you can recall we did that whole series with people submitting their videos trying to insult Hillary Clinton because she wanted to shut down people's free speech if they dare make jokes about her. So that's just one of the things going on here out in California with the Laugh Factory. And we'll kind of be bouncing all around here, meeting up with some of her, seeing if we can actually find any Hillary Clinton supporters. I have yet to find one.
Leanne, tell folks how they find. So that's key. I mean, do a report on that.
Yeah, I mean,
a reporter cannot find a Hillary supporter, but she's set to win the state. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Leanne, in closing, fire out your Facebook, your Twitter. It's important people to follow those as well, not just our main ones, because you post a lot of exclusive stuff there.
Yes, you can follow me at Leanne McAdoo on Twitter, and also Leanne McAdoo InfoWars on my Facebook page. And we'll be seeing you tonight live at 7 p.m. Central for the InfoWars Nightly News.
That's right, expanded coverage with our reporters from Bilderberg, Germany, and from California and more. I'm Alex Jones from Austin. Thank you for joining us. This is the InfoWar. I'm your host, Alex Jones. We've got our reporters in Germany. We've got our reporters in California reporting on the 2016 election tonight. We'll have coverage from 7 o'clock Central past 9 o'clock. We'll have a bunch of produced news packages covering the latest developments this evening. And then we'll also have reporters across the world giving you geopolitical analysis as well. I'll be popping in as well. And Jakari Jackson, along with Darren McBreen and David Knight, will be running the show here from the InfoWars News Center in Austin, Texas, the center that you built with your support, your prayers, and your financial support by buying super high-quality, cutting-edge products at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, buying a lot of Hillary for President shirts, buying a lot of Molon Labe shirts, wearing those colors loud and proud, meeting like-minded people. I just love seeing the live footage and covering it myself a few times, seeing black, white, Hispanic, male, female, wearing Molon Labe shirts, wearing Hillary for President shirts, and unifying humanity around freedom. That absolutely freaks out Obama and the globalists. They do not want to show the crowds of people of every race, color, and creed going into these Trump rallies. They do not. They want to spin it and make it look like Trump is a racist. That is what they're pushing as hard as they can, but it's not working. They're also pushing a big hoax that Hillary's ahead of him in every poll. Just like she's ahead of Bernie Sanders, right? Oh, no, the superdelegates stole more than 10 states for her. And now Sanders, to his credit, saying we're still going to fight at the convention because we've got the delegates and the superdelegates don't speak for the voters. They've never implemented this before. They're doing this because they've got candidates they don't want like Trump and Sanders. I got problems with both Sanders and Trump. A lot less with Trump, obviously. I admire his courage, agree with a lot of what he has to say, but he says some stuff I don't agree with. The way he put the Mexican judge thing, I got it in the full context, but it was just giving him a weapon. But maybe that's his plan, knowing it would all come out later. It's just a complex issue. Now, before I go to Rob Dew, and Josh Owens there. A lot has happened since they were on with us yesterday. We've gotten the Bilderberg list. We've gotten the intel. It's up on drudgereport.com. It's the Bilderberg Group that is the most important private organizational meeting. It's a Spectre meeting. And George Soros basically runs the show.